Okay, I'm gonna make a quick video on this physics system. So basically, when I shoot the ground, this will fall, and I can walk through it. See, it's not interrupting me, and they will disappear in 5 seconds. Also, these trees, I cannot go through, although when they fall, they land on me, and they're a little light right now, but I can adjust that. And they also disappear in 5 seconds. So yeah, it's a little light, it's a little bouncy. But yeah, so how do we do this? Simply, we will, if you have the Voxel Pro plugin, because that's the only way I'm going to be showing it, you may be able to do it different ways through Voxel, but this is obviously mainly a Voxel tool because it's the generation. We're going to get a Voxel spawner and a Voxel config. So this is in Unreal Engine version 4.25. So this layout may be different now if you are using 4.26 or 5.0. I believe 5.0 is like up here, but we're going to be opening our Voxel mesh spawner. First of all, we're just going to do grass. And let's open this up. So, for this, we're going to be throwing in our static mesh of what we want. This is the way it's going to be thrown around the map. If you want it to be randomly tossed, I believe that's what it is. Distance between each voxel. So, the higher the number, the more things on the map. Okay. Now we're going to be needing to make an actor class, so press the plus button. You're going to make a name for it and go into it. So mine is, where is it at? Grass, here we are. So in grass, we are going to be adding a static mesh, add the component, type in static mesh, as well as a voxel physics relevancy. Static mesh. Once you have the static mesh, go to your event graph, go off event begin play, make a set simulate physics, add your static mesh, which can be named, for example, grass. There, it changed it for me. Make sure you check the simulate box, compile, and make sure you have no errors. Here. Okay, so inside the grass, you're most likely going to need to simulate physics. You can also change the weight of the object, as we could do with the trees. We're going to go down to, where's that? I think, actually, oh yeah, collision right here. Let's open this up. So we're going to want to block all for this. I'm not sure if this is mandatory, but this is how I set it up. We're going to file, Control-Shift-S saves all. And now, once we have this set up, we're going to go into our, get to spawners, so make a spawners folder. We're going to be getting into our voxel spawner config. So like I said, it may be named something differently, but they have the same purpose. We're going to open that up. I have a tree and grass in here. We're just going to focus on the grass right now, so I'm going to collapse this. Throw your grass spawner into here. And then everything is already basically set up for you. If you want to make the chunk size a little different and generation different, that's cool. Just make sure you experiment with it and find what you like the most. That's what a lot of this is. Okay, make sure you save that, and okay, so now we're going to be going to our third-person character. I highly recommend getting a voxel character through the voxel content examples, and then through examples you're going to see the cubic destruction map, and then go into your cubic destruction first person. To set this as your character, you're going to be going to your world settings, game mode, and then set it there. make sure your selected game mode is the first person character. Once you've done that, go into your character blueprint, go to your event graph, and you're going to see a lot of stuff. We're going to ignore a lot of it, and we're going to go to the sponge projectile comment, and we're going to delete this node that says fire. We're going to replace it with left mouse button. To do that, we right click and type it in. As well as that, if you do not want the sound, there will be a sound node here that's connected to get actor location. We don't need this, we don't want sound. Moving down the line, I disabled the spawn cubes. This will normally be connected, but I don't want the, so normally there'll be like a explosive spawn cube thing that I really don't like, so I just disabled it. Then voxel physics, this is the most important part. First of all, if you're going to be using this, make sure you divide by 300, and your should be set. Yeah, just make sure you divide by 300. Oh, change your for loop to around 50 so your voxels aren't insanely big. Okay, so we're going to be bringing the yellow lines and the white line, the executable cables, and the vector into a, so this won't be here. You're going to want to delete what's already there and make this from scratch. So right click, multi-sphere trace by channel, connect this, change the radius to something that you think would be acceptable. It'll basically be, if you shoot the ground, for example, whatever is inside that radius will be affected and will fall by physics. Okay, you're going to want to ignore yourself. That should be already ticked. Make a for each loop. Make sure your array is connected. Make a break hit results off of the array elements. From here, we're going to make the loop body is going to cast to voxel hierarchical instanced static mesh component. So you're just going to put the executable cable over. Get your object of that into hit component. We're going to cast to voxel world. The object is going to go into the hit actor. The component of the hierarchical character instance is going to go into the spawned voxel spawn actor by instant index. So make this, connect the world to as voxel world component to here, and make sure the instance index goes down to hit item. So once you have that, you have basically the physics set up for the falling action, although now we're going to have to deal with a lot of weird collision. I always have issues with collision, so this is what took me quite a while. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to open our static mesh. So first of all, if you do not want, or if you want to walk through your static mesh, make sure you're not colliding with it. Turn off collision, as well as in your character blueprint, into the viewport, click on your capsule component, go down to your collision, and block everything other than the physics body. So, or block everything other than this physics body. That'll allow you to, if you have like a solid tree, for example, you will not, or for these bushes, you will walk through it. Cool, so make sure you just make no collision for this bush. One big thing you need to do is add a collision. So you're gonna add a simple collision. This is so it knows where it is. Once you have this simple collision, you're pretty set. So just to add a collision in this version of Unreal Engine, we go to collision and add a capsule or box or whatever type of collision. Doesn't really matter. And then this will show collision. UE5 is a little different. You can add collisions right here. Okay. Cool. I'm trying to think. Okay, in your collision, make sure, so mine is project default, but if you don't have this set, make sure it is use simple collision as complex. Very important. It will not work without that. But if it's already on default, then might as well keep it. Okay. And then I'm trying to think if there's anything else super important. If we are going to use a tree, you're just going to basically duplicate most of it, but because the tree is solid, we're going to block everything here. Let me see. Grass. So yeah, so for grass we had no collision. For the tree we're blocking all, and that's the main difference. For the second instance settings, we're overlapping everything. Here we're overlapping everything other than the world static. So we're wanting to block world static. Also, when you are putting in your spawner config, you're going to go to your voxel world. You're going to scroll down to voxel spawners and just throw it in. That's basically everything you need to know. So now, if I did this correctly, if I walk into here, this will not allow me to go through. I can break it. It's obviously a little jumpy. It's not too hard to fix, I don't think. And it's not that big of a deal. Okay, and also these bushes, for example, if I were to roll one, I can walk directly through it without it affecting me. So I can just walk through, blah, 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 blah. And keep in mind that all these will disappear in 5 seconds, so it's not going to just be stacking up. To change that number, go to your asset here, your what do you call it? What do you call it? Your spawner, your tree spawn or grass spawn. I set my tree to 7 seconds. This is its lifespan, so it'll despawn after 7 seconds. So I think that's about everything you need to know. Yeah, if you have any questions, just let me know in the comments, and I'll try to answer them. But I am pretty new to Unreal, so some of the stuff I talked about in here may be slightly inaccurate. All right, take it.